Nintendo has finally revealed the much-leaked Switch 2 in a first-look trailer, and while we've basically seen every little last detail thanks to those loose lips and sunk ships, there's still a lot we don't know for certain. But buckle up as we're going to get right into the weeds for all things Nintendo Switch 2. Naturally, our first point of reference is the original Switch and how the new console compares to it. The trailer points out the obvious first. It's bigger, considerably so. Leaks such as those from accessory manufacturer Genki put it having a screen size about an inch larger, making it somewhere around 8 inches big. Leaks too pointed to having an LCD screen unfortunately, which would be a downgrade from the Switch OLED, but it remains to be seen. Naturally, the Joy-Cons are bigger too, to accommodate the larger size, so should prove a bit more comfortable to hold. Gone too is the iconic colouring, which is instead relegating to the housing of the joysticks, which too look to have undergone a bit of a size increase. The right side has this lovely coral colour, whereas the left is a nice shade of sky blue. It's a nice touch, but I would have preferred a bit more colour. Other leakers suggest that the thumbsticks found on the new Joy-Cons will use Hall effect joysticks, which would be a huge improvement from the original and eliminate stick drift altogether. The leaks pointed to this as well, but the Switch 2 Joy-Cons look to be attached magnetically as opposed to the rail system on the original. Hopefully, over the course of the unit's lifetime, this won't break like many are fearing. Those little attachment bits do look a bit fiddly. When unattached from the Switch 2 body, it looks like the SL and SR buttons have seen a bit of an upgrade as well to make them less fiddly to use. There's also a mysterious new button on the Joy-Cons, a square button that's been dubbed the C button for now. Its use isn't known yet, but some have speculated that it may have some sort of social function and that Nintendo's looking to implement a service akin to Discord known as Campus if the unofficial Nintendo Switch 2 Discord server is to be believed. Discord user Do Not Disturb did say, "Mark my words, it will be official in 48 hours, which hasn't exactly borne out, so a pinch of salt with this one. Sticking with the Joy-Cons, the trailer appeared to at least heavily suggest that the Joy-Cons can indeed be used as a mouse, which many leaks pointed to as well. This ability comes from optical sensors such as those found on the underside of a mouse in the Joy-Cons themselves. In the trailer, we're shown that there is an attachment which allows the Joy-Con to be flush with a flat surface to be used as a mouse, theoretically. Somewhat ironically, Nintendo showed off this purported feature by showing the Joy-Cons drifting across the table. A flagrant spit in the face for the millions who suffered at the hands of stick drift, but it's also quite funny. This could be an excellent feature for a number of different games, from strategy games to first-person shooters, as well as games such as Mario Maker, where precise controls would be very welcome. Imagine a track maker for Mario Kart as well that you can get just right. Back to the main unit though, there's another USB port next to the headphone jack which could allow for some interesting peripherals that Nintendo could have planned, as well as offering more angles to charge the device from. We can also see the cooling solution seems to be much beefier, with visible cooling fins which points to the Switch 2 being a much more powerful console. Also stronger, hopefully, is the new kickstand design, which has a new U-shape that hinges from 2 points on the console and looks to recline further back, allowing for more viewing angles. Anyone who owns an original Switch will know just how much of an upgrade this will be when compared to the little piddly foot thing on that console. And though much of the appeal of the Switch is playing on the go, it is also a home console at heart thanks to the dock. The Switch 2 dock appears to have undergone some upgrades as well. Whilst we didn't get that good of a look at it in the trailer, we can see it sporting little feet that lift it that bit higher than the OG dock does, perhaps to allow for better cooling for all that power. Leaks also point to the dock potentially having 2 cooling fans to better rein in the beast. The original Switch had a little more oomph when docked, and the Switch 2 will almost certainly do the same, with potential extra cooling helping it to reach even loftier heights. Said power will come in the form of a brand spanking new SoC, a silicon on a chip from Nvidia, who made the Tegra X1 that powered the OG Switch. This SoC has long rumoured to be the Nvidia T239 after the prolific graphics tech leaker Kopite7Kimi revealed its existence to the world. Without getting too technical, computer graphics wizard Richard Ledbetter of Digital Foundry looked at the supposed specs of the T239 and reckoned it to be similar to a downclock mobile Nvidia RTX 2050 graphics card. All this points to the Switch 2 being around as powerful as a PS4, but with a far more modern feature set capable of things such as ray tracing and image reconstruction by way of DLSS. During the FTC versus Microsoft hearings over the latter's acquisition of Activision Blizzard King, former Activision boss Bobby Kotick stipulated as much. But every system needs some memory, and sleuths over on Famaboards have been tracking shipping data for years now and figured out Nintendo were buying a suspicious amount of 6GB LPDDR5X modules. Leaked photos of the Switch 2 motherboard show that there are 2 spots for memory modules, giving us a total of 12GB of system memory, triple the amount found on the original Switch. Crucially, this memory looks to be very fast, which is very important for mobile graphics, as the memory is shared between the GPU and the CPU. Storage looks to be massively improved too as well, with leaks from GameStop directories showing that the Switch 2 will be able to make use of microSD express cards, which are way faster than your typical SD card. This should mean that loading times are massively reduced. But being so different from the OG Switch, can we expect it to run the games for that system? Yes. Yes we can, as Nintendo has confirmed backwards compatibility for both games you bought online and physical cartridges, but with a slight catch. In the trailer, Nintendo says that certain Switch games may not be supported on or fully compatible with Nintendo Switch 2. Whilst this may send alarm bells ringing, it's most likely just for games that were part of things like Nintendo Labo, or games that make use of the IR sensor, which appears to potentially be missing for the Joy-Cons this time round. The vast majority of games should just work totally fine, but the jury is out on whether or not they will run faster. During Gamescom 2023, Nintendo was said to have delivered an exclusive demo to partners showcasing a version of Breath of the Wild that was running at higher frame rate and resolution. Again, there is no word if Nintendo will patch legacy titles or introduce a model similar to Sony, who charged £10 for The Last of Us Part 2 PS5 upgrade and Horizon Zero Dawn remaster. And whilst old games running better is great and all, what we're really excited for are the new ones. So far, all we have is a short glimpse of what is purported to be Mario Kart 9. Graphically, it isn't a huge leap over Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, but we can see 24 starting positions on the track. Coming in 12th place will sure feel a lot better if that's the case. Other than that, we can safely assume that we'll see a new 3D Mario title and a new big Zelda game at some point, but we can't say when they would arrive on the console. Other no-brainers could be a souped-up version of the upcoming Metroid Prime 4, which already looks great on the original Switch going by the trailer, and other Nintendo stalwarts like Animal Crossing and Pokemon will surely appear at some point too. It's a fairly safe bet to expect some entirely new IPs as well, perhaps ones that make use of the mouse-like feature or other games that showcase the best features of the new Nintendo Switch 2. Outside of Nintendo, we can hope to see a slew of third-party games making an appearance, as the Switch 2 is far more capable than its predecessor. In 2023, Microsoft signed a 10-year deal with Nintendo to bring Xbox games onto its platforms, so we can expect a veritable gamut of titles from them. Halo on the Switch? Don't mind if I do, thank you. Square Enix too seem to be looking beyond their traditional PlayStation home due to lower than expected sales figures. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth as well has been Steam Deck verified ahead of its PC launch, making the prospects of it launching on the Switch 2 quite high. Not only that, in an interview with Easy Allies, Final Fantasy XIV producer Naoki Yoshida said he'd like to see the MMO appear on as many devices as possible. Wink wink, nudge nudge. And seeing as the Switch 2 most likely has the goods to deliver a good experience, it would be a no-brainer for Square Enix to try and get on that platform, especially given how popular the game is. Another big title being thrown around the rumour mill is Red Dead Redemption 2. The first game got Switch port in 2023, so this is not entirely without merit, especially if the Switch 2 is said to be as powerful as a PS4, but with higher end features. After the reveal, Ubisoft took to Twitter to say, "We're in love, heart emoji." There have been rumours swirling around for some time now that Assassin's Creed Shadows could be a launch title for Switch 2, but this is all hearsay. We'll have a much better understanding come the 2nd of April 2025, as Nintendo will be hosting a Direct then, which will no doubt go into more detail about the console, the games coming, and what price it might be. On that, lots of different numbers are being thrown around. The original Switch had an MSRP of £279.99, but that was back in 2017. The new Switch 2 has higher end components and the cost of manufacturing has gone up considerably, and that's before we even consider inflation. It's likely a safe bet to say it won't be as cheap as that, and £300 as well is probably too optimistic. In our expert opinion, we reckon it'll probably be closer to that £400 mark. Xbox era Nick Baker took to X, formerly Twitter, to say that he had heard on the grapevine that a source of his said that there is a Switch 2 bundle that will cost $499 US, with the bundle most likely being Mario Kart 9. Deducting the kart racer in question, he lands on a figure of $449 US, which translates to £368 as of recording. This is just shy of a £100 increase to £379.99, which sounds within the realm of reason, but we still wouldn't be surprised to see it around £400. But if you'd like to try it before you buy it, from early April onwards, there will be a series of Nintendo Switch 2 experiences happening across the globe, where lucky fans can try the console out ahead of its launch if randomly selected from a registration process. For those of us in the UK who managed to snag a ticket, we can head on down to London town between the 11th and 13th of April. These events run until June, which points to a summer launch for a console, very fitting for a device you can take outside. Further lending credence to this, in the same breath, Xbox Era's Nick Baker mentions that he was told the Switch 2 will release in June. It wouldn't make a lot of sense for Nintendo to show off the console for months and months and then just sit on their laurels, but only time will tell. Whew! And that just about covers it. When new details emerge, we will as always do our due diligence to bring you up to speed on all things Nintendo Switch 2. Be sure to keep your eye on the website and our YouTube channel for more Switch coverage. But until then, thank you for watching, and please consider giving this video a wee like and a share, and even subscribing to the Radio Times Gaming YouTube channel. We'll see you next time.